Welcome to this episode of What's Up with Wendy's podcast. My special guest today, founder and creator of Nutty Bunny Ice Cream. Nutty Bunny Ice Cream is USDA certified organic, vegan, non-GMO, naturally gluten-free, no artificial sweeteners. They use nature's purest ingredients. They have 7 flavors right now. They're pint-sized. There's more to come, and the story behind it is even better. You won't want to miss this episode of What's Up with Wendy's podcast. I'm so excited about this episode of What's Up with Wendy's podcast today because, as most of you know who have been listening to me, I have been dairy-free for probably over a year now, never felt better in my life. So I'm always interested when there's something yummy out there that's dairy-free that I can talk about. So if you haven't tried Nutty Bunny Ice Cream, you are totally missing out. And creating this was a simple enough for creator Pamela Aflalo, who wanted a non-dairy alternative for her daughter, Sophie. So she's going to share her story, and we're going to talk all about this today. Welcome to my show, Pamela.
Oh, thanks, Wendy. So happy to be here, and I love your podcast.
Thank you so much. So I'm out to dinner one night, and talking to this waitress about, I can't have anything that has dairy in it. Can you tell me? And she goes, oh my God, have you tried Nutty Bunny? And I said, no, what is that? And here we are today. So of course we went out and got it the next day, and it is so delicious. And the story of it is just as good. So can you share with that? Can we take us back to before Nutty Bunny and your life before you created this?
Sure. So my background is actually, I was a business consultant in the IT field. For Gartner Group for many, many years. And then I had my own tech company. Then I was a stay-at-home mom, and my daughter had terrible allergies. And so she was on all sorts of medication and, really, really very sick, missing a lot of school. And it was just, it was just devastating. And I did some research and found out that, of course, dairy is the number one allergen, and took her off of dairy. And she was better in about 2 weeks, completely off meds, completely normal. It was just an amazing awakening. And but she missed her ice cream. And so, I went to Whole Foods. I went, bought all back then, so we're talking about 5-6 years ago. Back then, there were very few, non-dairy ice creams, and they were all filled with chemicals, or they tasted terrible. So at about that time, I had gone back to gone back to school, and decided to go to culinary school. So I went to the Natural Gourmet Institute in the city, and which is sort of a hybrid of nutritional food and culinary skills, and decided to develop my own ice cream for her. And so I came up with the first batch, and she liked it, but she had, strong opinions about it. So I kept creating batch. Every time we went through a batch, I'd create another one, I'd tweak it. And, finally, like a year later, she said, oh, this is it. This is it. So that was the vanilla. And then friends started ordering it. People just started realizing that dairy did not make them feel good. And they started friends started ordering ice cream from me. And I thought, okay, so this actually could be a business.
You make it sound so simple. Okay, so I went to the National Gourmet Institute in New York City. And, it's so funny because dairy, within a week of stopping dairy, I felt like my gut didn't hurt anymore. I wasn't like having reflux anymore. I was feeling like 20 years younger. It was like a miracle. Yeah. But you make this sound so easy. But was that the one thing she was really missing from dairy? Was it the ice cream?
Yeah, that was it. She was, I guess she was like 10 years old. So she totally missed her ice cream. And then, so then we, consequently, my husband and I started, taking, not eating dairy because I was cooking without dairy. And we've just felt better. And both my husband and I have had allergies all of our lives and asthma. And we just all felt so much better. So
Isn't
we just
amazing
back. So yeah, it sounds like it was a simple journey, but it wasn't, it wasn't all, unicorns and candy. It was,
it sounds like it. Okay. So for everyone that's listening, Nutty Bunny, okay, it's USDA certified organic, vegan, yes, non-GMO, naturally gluten-free, no artificial sweeteners. You use nature's purest ingredients. It is we did a taste test, and I'm going to share that at the end of the interview with everybody, and I'm going to play some sound bites from it. It's the most delicious ice cream you've ever tasted in your entire life. I mean, like licking bowl ice cream kind of. And it's funny because I used to be like a salty person before, and then when I stopped having dairy, like I wanted ice cream. So this is why this was such a beautiful thing that I found you. But so back up. So you started with vanilla. So how in the world do you do this? I mean, I don't want you to give away your deep, dark secrets, but how does it happen?
It's actually pretty simple. I mean, when I went to the Natural Gourmet Institute, we just learned how to make things, mostly plant-based, food, and kind of, away from dairy and away from, animal protein. So I guess I kind of say it's kind of like making a pie. You know how you make a pie? It's like basic ingredients. It's flour, it's egg, it's, shortening and things like that. Well, vegan food and vegan ice cream is a similar concept. You usually use, some formulation of coconut milk or coconut meat, or coconut oil, so there are some basic ingredients. And I just, just played around with a bunch of different ingredients until I got it right. And it's just a matter of mixing. And honestly, it's like Mother Nature. Like my daughter says, you don't really make anything; you just mix things together. And I just basically mixed really great ingredients, and and basically a Vitamix. I started off with just a regular Vitamix, and now I have a commercial one, of course. But and you just blend the ingredients together, and then it goes in the batch freezer. So when you're using great ingredients, there's not a lot you need to do. It doesn't really take processing.
So you started this in 2013. So obviously you've grown. This was out of your kitchen, I imagine, when you first started?
Just out of my kitchen until friends started ordering it. And then I really wasn't, I was a little apprehensive about turning it into a business, but a friend of mine was good friends with this catering company in Stamford, a really big catering company, wonderful people, Marcia Selden Catering. And so I called them up and I said, I have this product. I'd love for you to try it just to sort of get some validation. They've been in the industry for years, and they do like celebrity events and things like that. They're really big, amazing company. And so they invited me over, and I brought samples. And I think back then I just had the vanilla chocolate and hazelnut chocolate crunch, and I brought them over to them, and they all tried them, and they just loved them. And my favorite line ever is, one of the women at the company said, "I don't understand how this is not dairy." And that has become my favorite line ever. So that really gave me the confidence, that it could be a company. And then she invited me to be part of this event. She was the director of this huge catering company, organization. And so I sampled, my products there, and it was just an amazing, people just loved it. So it gave me the confidence to just move forward and say, okay, it's time to make this into a real business.
It is a real business, and it is really delicious. If you just know, I'm talking to Pamela Aflalo. She is the founder and creator of Nutty Bunny Ice Cream. The flavors are 7 flavors: vanilla, chocolate, organic, orange blossom, hazelnut, chocolate crunch, toasted almond, cappuccino, salted caramel. I loved all of them from our taste test. And it's going to be interesting for you to hear what everybody said about it. I had some people over last night, like I said, tasting these. So thank you for all of that. I have to say, hands down, my favorite, I like them all. My favorite was toasted almond.
That's like the best seller. Yeah.
Yes. And there, you said the coconut. I definitely taste the coconut. That's what I was trying to talk to you about when the first time we talked. I was like, I taste that, but it just feels so pure, and it's so fresh, and so like you're eating the purest things. Like I never felt like that when I ate ice cream before, and ice cream didn't used to make me feel good. So this is all good. And you're found in how many? Over 30 stores? Is it more than that?
It's about 35 now. It does fluctuate a little bit because some of them are seasonal places. But I think at least 35, and that's between Connecticut and New York.
Okay. And do you ship for free?
Yep. If you go online, you can order, and we ship anywhere. It gives a list of the states, but anywhere that can be shipped on ground, within 3 days.
So go online at nuttybunny.com. That's NUTTYBUNNY.com, and check out her story. It's an amazing story, Pamela's story. Okay, so next question do you ever are you picky about picking the ingredients? Like, how do you come up with the ingredients?
Well, it's, again, there are very few ingredients in it, so it's pretty easy. So when I come up with a new flavor, for instance, orange blossom was the fourth flavor, and that was because somebody kind of custom ordered. They wanted a floral flavor. It was this musician who really liked our products, and their manager, it was his birthday, and they asked if I could come up with a floral flavor for him because vanilla was his favorite, and they wanted like an additional flavor. And so I came up with that. So I just used, again, all the natural stuff. So I kind of used the base of what I used for the vanilla, and then I added fresh orange rind. And then but it didn't have any color to it, and I didn't want to add any
Artificial. Uh-huh.
Yeah, so I just used a little bit of turmeric to give it some color. So I always think of what can I add. Everything has to be nutrient dense that goes in there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I thought about it.
So will there be more flavors coming out?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, we test flavors all the time. Like for Valentine's Day, we had Moroccan rose.
Ooh.
My husband's Moroccan, so that kind of inspired me. A lot of Moroccan desserts have rose water in it, and that's what was my inspiration for that flavor. Also, I added a little bit of a beet powder to give it, like some pink color, and again, with adding something that had nutrients in it also. But yes, we'll be coming out with more citrus flavors for the spring, and I think it would be lemon or lime.
Oh, I love that.
Or maybe even
I love that.
Yes,
I love that. So is Sophie still involved? Does she still give her opinion?
Oh my gosh, yes, she has a very strong opinion. She'll laugh if I tell you this. There are times when I was in my commercial kitchen in Stamford, and we lived in Stamford, and after a while, you're making ice cream for a while, and your taste buds kind of go numb. And so I made this huge batch, and I tasted it, and I couldn't tell if it tasted good or not, or if it was a little off. And so I didn't know what to do, and I got in my car, I drove to her school, I went to the office, and I said, can I just call my daughter down for a minute? And so I paged her, she came down to the office, and she's like, is everything okay? And I'm like, I just need you to try this.
Did you bring them all ice cream after that, the school?
No, I did it very discreetly.
That's so
didn't
funny.
know why. They didn't even ask, but she was like terrified. She's like, why did you ever do that? So yes, she still to this day, if I, I'm a little concerned that the flavor's just not quite right, because I'm so sensitive to it, that I will still ask her, and she has a really amazing palate, and she's been, she started off tasting it. So nobody knows better than she does if the taste is off or not.
Well, it was inspired through her for her terrible allergies and colds and difficulty breathing and everything else. So what a beautiful story it turned out to be, right? And everyone's like healthier for it.
Right. And everyone asked how we came up with the name Nutty Bunny.
That was my next question.
Yes, that was what we used to call her because she's very funny. She is still. And she's very goofy and funny. And so we used to call her Funny Bunny or Nutty Bunny. And so because it is nut-based, we decided to call it Nutty Bunny after her. And now, of course, we can't call her that anymore because it's confusing. But that's how we came up with the name, to name it after her, the inspiration.
Well, and even the packaging is so simple and perfect.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I found this amazing woman in Greece who is our brand designer. She's won all sorts of international awards. She's really amazing. Yeah.
And you said Greece, one of my favorite places in the whole world, the one place that is on my bucket list to go visit. But seriously, it was interesting to have everyone try it last night and to get everyone's opinion, which you'll hear at the end of this podcast. And one of them said, which I'll spill the beans now. He said the cappuccino is like having Starbucks.
That's my favorite flavor right now. I love it. I eat it almost every day.
And I'm sure you can put it in